Well, good afternoon, shipmates, and welcome to the show. I hope everybody's having a great day, great week. Hope everybody's well. And today is a special episode. For those of you that don't know, that today is the United States Navy's birthday. October 13th, 1775 was when the Continental Congress created the U.S. Navy, and they've been going strong ever since. I had the privilege of serving for 20 years in the Navy, so I thought that I would use today's episode to, pay tribute. So I've got a special little treat for y'all. It's basically a throwback video from the early 90s. It's basically about, Navy Bootcamp and what it's like. And so I don't know. Some of you might find it interesting, maybe not. I don't know. It's not cruise related. It's not travel related. But it is, just a kind of a sneak peek into what being in the military is like, being in the Navy's like, what that experience looks like. It is an old video, and the video quality, I'll just warn you now, is not the greatest. It's definitely not high definition, but you can still kind of get the idea of what's going on there. And it's from the early 90s. And so for those of you that do keep up to date with the Navy and their uniforms and things like that, that was back when we used to wear the dungarees all the time. So the uniforms today are vastly different, but it's still generally the same experience. So without further ado, here's the video. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and fair winds and following seas to all.
U.S. Navy recruits. Young men who come from all over the country, from different backgrounds, for different reasons, and with different goals. But each will face the same test, a test of character, strength, and determination. It is a test of their ability to meet the challenge offered by the U.S. Navy. Graduate from boot camp, they're filled with the pride of accomplishment and the feeling of a job well done. A far cry from the young men who arrived at Recruit Training Command San Diego just 9 weeks earlier.
I'm nervous because I don't know what to expect. I've been told a lot of different things about the Navy, good and bad. I don't know, I'm just going in head first.
I'm nervous. I'm anxious, really, too. I've been waiting all day. I really want to, get in and do something, I guess. So I'm nervous, I think is a good word.
Okay, from now on, last words out of your mouth. Yes, sir, no, sir, aye, aye, sir. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where you're going is receiving and outfitting. First thing you're going to do is you're going to get out, get in a single file line. You're going to get your orders out. Do not take them out in manila envelope. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
the recruits, there is a feeling of uncertain anticipation as they go through processing and receive their essentials. They receive and change into Navy sweats or Smurf gear and send their civilian clothing home. When the recruits finally get ready for bed, they realize that their transition into sailors has begun, and they can only wonder what the next day holds.
Get on your racks! Right now, get up! On top! Get on your racks! Get on your racks! You're gonna grab those sweats, you're gonna put them on! Put them on, do it! Get on your racks, sir!
They was real puzzled that morning, and then everybody had that look of, oh gosh, what to do, you know. We all fell out, and we lined up for chow, and we really didn't know where we was going. We was marching in the dark, and went to the galley, and the galley crew really, I think, puzzled a lot of us, you know, like 2 hands on tray at all time, and they were trying to, you know, get your cup and get the drink at the same time, and they're yelling at you 2 hands on tray at one time. There's no way.
Mama, mama, can't you see?
Mama, mama, can't you see
What the Navy's done to me?
what the Navy's done to me?
It made me eat a galley five.
It made me eat a galley five.
I'll eat some more if I survive.
I'll eat some more if I survive.
Whoa,
Whoa,
put me in a barber's chair.
put me in a barber chair.
Spun me round, I had no hair.
Spun me around, I had no hair.
Whoa,
Whoa.
It was really hard when they cut it off because, you know, I was bald, and that was the first time I've been bald in like years. I was like, God, what am I going to do? It took me so long to like grow this. And I was crying the blues for the first 2 weeks, but, you know, I guess it's just another obstacle you have to, you know, you have to conquer, you know.
Everybody move up one.
mama, mama, can't you see?
Mama, mama, can't you see
What the Navy's done to me?
what the Navy's done to me?
I used to wear Levi jeans.
I used to wear Levi jeans.
Now I'm wearing dungarees.
Now I'm wearing dungarees.
Whoa,
Whoa. Whoa.
left, 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 right, left, left, left. Column up, left, march. Left.
Once the recruits have received their first uniform issue, all signs of individuality are gone. The recruits then go to their barracks and meet the men who will guide them through each step of their training.
I'm Chief Cadet Officer Bell, okay? I will be with you for the next 9 weeks. Most of you. For the next 9 weeks. The only way you're gonna make it through here is if you put your mind to it. If you have any doubt, you're gonna have problems. I will not hold one individual hand in this company and personally lead them through training. You're gonna lead yourselves through training because you're gonna work as a team. No one individual can graduate from recruit training command. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay, now.
First thing I want to get to them is teamwork. I want to try to instill teamwork, get them to working together, functioning as a cohesive unit, because the way I look at it is that you got to have everybody giving 100%, and one person's 100% might not be as good as another one, but it is all towards achieving the same goal, and that is functioning as a unit or as a team in order to achieve the ultimate goal, so far as getting through basic training.
Don't set yourself up for failure. Get your girlfriend, mom, dad, all those particular problems, and think about the task at hand. And it's an important task. It's one that's going to fill you up mentally as well as physically. But first, you've got to clear your mind from all the other distractions and concentrate and be focused.
From the start, you let them know that you're there for them. If something is bothering a recruit, and a lot of recruits think, well, you know, wow, why did I do this? I may have made a mistake. We try to let them know, no, it's not necessarily a mistake that you made, but if you do have something that's bothering you and if you don't tell us, and there's no possible way we can help you. So if you tell us, we'll try to get to the problem, get to the root of it, solve it for you. Then that way it makes learning a lot quicker and a lot easier. You're able to comprehend and understand exactly what is expected of you while you're in boot camp.
During the first 4 days, or P days, the recruits go through additional processing and a series of tests that ensures that they are ready to begin their training. It is an intense period, and the stress of a new experience can sometimes get the best of a recruit.
That first round of shots was a little tough. I wasn't really used to getting that many shots. I hadn't really had that many in my life. And it was just that rushing through and all the excitement that was going on, and got a little lightheaded.
Take a deep breath. That's it. You're doing real good. Doing real good.
The second time was real easy because I'd already been through it, and just kind of walked in, let them shoot me in both arms, and kept on going. Nothing to it.
Back to reality. Here we go.
Before we actually start training, we want to make sure that the recruits are ready to go. Any personal problems in their record, or any medical problems, or any dental problems, anything that is majorly that is wrong, we need to make sure that we get them taken care of before we move on through training, so that recruit won't be hampered once we start training, so we can identify the problems early and get them moving on through training. The P days is very important because you don't want any recruits to miss any portion of the P days or the processing days. That way, we want to make sure that once we step out on the 1-1 day, that's the day of commissioning, that all the recruits are ready to go and we're ready to start training.
Good morning, man. I'm Master Chief Aisham, your division officer. Welcome to Recruit Training Command in the United States Navy. Company numbers 162 and 163 have been assigned to you.
On the 1-1 day of training, the company is officially formed up at the commissioning ceremony.
The proudest thing of those recruits is they know that the training is going to start. The division officer comes up and he gives them a speech on, you know, the responsibilities of being a recruit, the decisions that they've made, and the decision that's going to stay with them a lifetime. You want to make sure that the company manager themselves is ready to assume that company. They also get their flags on that day, and then from that point on, that's when it starts.
The first step is the PT in-dock. Here, the recruits are introduced to the physical aspects of their training.
9, 7, 10, 7, 11, 7, 12, 7, 13, 7, 14, 7, 15, 7.
Well, what it's actually about is to see how far along a guy might be, or how far away he might be from actually, in fact, being physically fit. Any place you go, you have standards and stuff like this. So we have the minimum standards that a person should be able to do this amount of push-ups, 35, I think, push-ups, 25 sit-ups in 2 minutes. But you do have actually, in fact, people who can't do 10 push-ups correctly, who cannot do those 25 or 35 sit-ups correctly, and not be able to run a mile and a half in 13 minutes. So all it is just gives you the framework to see what people may be lacking in, what areas they may be lacking in, what may be some of their strong points.
I always try to be upfront with the recruits, and I let them know what the requirements are so far as physical readiness, because a lot of these recruits that come in haven't done physical fitness in months or years. So we really work hard to get them up to the standards, the Navy standards, where they need to be in order to graduate from boot camp.
Whatever it takes to help you remember these things. Because in shock, pulse.
The first week of training is one of adjustment for the new recruits. When they're not attending classes, they are preparing themselves for the upcoming division compet. During the compet period, companies go through a series of tough inspections designed to build two things: teamwork and attention to detail.
Check the checkpoint. Turn your back to the centerboard. Page, chapter book upper right-hand corner. Single fold going toward the centerboard. Single pillowcase going toward the foot end of the rack. Everybody understand that? Yes, sir. You got to check the checkpoints.
The division compet basically lasts a week, and it's within the division, and it's competition between the companies within the division. It consists of several different evolutions, 3 personnel inspections, a couple of barracks inspections, and it consists of the individual recruit evaluation. And the company that scores the least amount of hits on all the inspections, personnel and barracks, and the RE, receives the division star.
Division compet is no gimme. Just because a company is doing quite well for the 2-1 and 2-2 inspection, they could fall flat on their face for the 2-4, which is the RE.
Division officer is Master Chief Petty Officer Ajon, sir.
The final stage of the division compet is the individual recruit evaluation. The tension has never been higher, as each recruit must meet the requirements to continue in training.
Even though that whole day counts against the division compet, it is not a company function, it is an individual recruit's function, in the sense that if he takes 5 hits or more on any of the inspections throughout that day, he will not proceed through training. And it consists of a personnel inspection, a bag lay, and it consists of a bunk drill. So at all those inspections, the recruit cannot take any more than 5 hits, or he will be held up in training.
It's normally on this that people really like fall flat on their face, because there's time limits constraints. You have to put in an individual bag lay on the individual bunk. It has to be in a certain order. Inspectors will look at it and make sure that it is. After that, you have a couple of minutes to fold 4 articles of clothing, that being a dungaree shirt, a dungaree trouser, a t-shirt, and a long white wash towel. And they have to do that and meet all the checkpoints. I look at it as what separates the men from the boys.
Okay. Now, hey, you guys think so, right?
The reason they feel so good about RE is that if they go through RE and do real good, like this company, they broke a base record with 4 hits. They proved it to themselves that as long as they pay attention to detail, keep their mind on what they're doing, that as long as in the Navy, they won't have no problem. Sports weekend wraps up the whole division compet. It takes place the day after the division compet, and it gives all the companies a chance to kind of relax and let the steam off. It gives them that extra boost of camaraderie and teamwork. And you will see a lot of times at sports weekend where if your company hadn't formed up by the end of that division compet, after sports weekend, they'd be so bundled you wouldn't be able to pull them apart. And in all actuality, sports weekend really is one of the high points of recruit training, because it creates team spirit and motivation. After all the events, along with the awards are given out for all the different athletic events, and then also the Division Star Award is given out for the best company during the division competitive period. And one thing I always try to tell my recruits is that regardless of whether you get an award or not, during sports weekend, be good sportsmen. If there's another company within the division that has achieved the streamer or has taken first place, then that is good. That is fine. Be good sportsmen, because they're all winners. Everything that the company has done up to this point has been to prepare them for the MED compet, which is Military Evaluation Division competitive period. Now this is the real competitive period, because this is the standards that recruit companies must meet in order to graduate from Recruit Training Command.
In addition to the daily PT and the continuing inspections, The recruits also face their first marching or infantry evaluation. It is an important evolution for the company. They are now allowed to march without a company commander present.
This is your safety steam streamer, guys. All right, this is when you guys are allowed to go by yourselves from now on, all right? So you got to remember with this, don't go out there and get those street marks and get it taken away, huh?
Yes, sir. We use a different analogy, a chain of command. Why do we call it a chain? I don't know. I can only consider that a chain is only as strong as the weakest link.
Just as important to the recruits' training is the time they spend in class. The recruits are tested on what they learn there, so study time is provided during the night routine.
In, here, or toward the stern of the vessel.
One of the things that we try to do is during study time is have full participation. Even if the kid halfway knows the answer, he's still going to give full participation. In the event that everybody doesn't respond as a team, and then we do our Go Navy reps, and that serves like a twofold purpose. For one, it helps them in the upper body strength to get ready for the PT, and it also helps them to come on board with the academics. So it kind of serves like a twofold purpose. And if you notice, the recruits, they really get motivated whenever we do that. So it works out pretty good.
Last Tamika. Leslie. Every day we get more and more, huh? Candelario, you even got mail today. I know the world's coming to an end.
The recruits are always excited when mail call rolls around, and the letters from home do wonders for their morale.
You want to kind of check to make sure that everybody gets some mail. If you look at the expressions on their faces after mail call and when they did get a letter, you always try to give them that little extra oomph to pep them up. Say, hey, don't worry about it. You know, hey, they're gonna write you. You know.
You're gonna write them. Next time you gotta put stamps on them now, so they get a good time. Okay.
It was hard. You know, you get kind of depressed every day when more mail comes in, all the other guys keep getting all the mail, and you don't get any. You know, you feel a little left out, but it feels good when you do get mail.
Wrap it up. Make sure you put stamps on them.
The recruits also get a chance to write friends and family before lights out and the end of another day at RTC.
Good night.
Next thing is we cannot go no more than one deck above the inline deductor. If we're fighting a fire on this deck, it can go up one more deck, and that's it.
During the MED compet period, recruits learn about all aspects of life in the fleet. Each day offers a new challenge, and on their 4-3 day, they face the most dramatic.
I think it is actually in fact taught in a way that is exciting and fun to learn. Firefighting, as with anything, it's very dangerous, sure, but it's done in such a way that they still grasp and understand what is it they're supposed to know about the concepts and precepts of fire prevention, and also too what to do in the event that should a fire take place upon the flight deck or wherever it is that they're working or stationed at a particular time.
They've been learning all of this information in class, and now it's time to put it to work. And recruits, they learn a lot better, especially with the firefighting, when they have hands-on. And you give the recruit the opportunity to have hands-on, that's one of the things that he's going to always remember.
The firefighting was awesome for me. I never, ever thought I'd go through anything like that. It was all hands-on. I mean, even when you go through a lot of different, when you're in high school, you go through field trips, you get to see a lot of things. Even when you go to college, you learn a lot of things. Here, we actually went in, we put on the wetsuits, we had to do the hose, we turned out an actual fire. We went into this fire room filled with fire, and it got all hands on, and it was great.
I like the danger part of it. You know, the excitement. You know, I mean, there's kind of a bit of excitement when you're standing there holding the hose, and you know something in front of you is burning, and it's your job, you know, to sit there and try and put it out.
Listen up, gentlemen. Look to your right. That is the way out.
Well, after they come back from firefighting school, they go to chow, and then from chow, we go and take them to the gas chamber. We tell them that the gas plugs that we're going to use, all it's going to do is just make their eyes water. Well, they're kind of nervous. They're kind of scared about this. And so I took it upon myself just to show them that it was no big deal, that I was going to take my mask off with them, too, and show them it was no big deal. They were going to be just coughing a little bit, and that the eyes were going to be tearing, but that would be the extent of it.
Now, remove your mask. Everyone.
It has a big impact because the recruits, they don't know what to expect. And that's the big thing. The company commander, he's been through it before, and he know what to expect. Well, the recruits, you get them bragging, like, yeah, this is not going to be nothing. And then once they get inside and you show them the capsule and how much they're actually inhaling or coming in contact with, and the effect that it have on them, it makes them respect tear gas, and it makes them respect that gas mask a whole lot more than they would if I would just sit down in the classroom and tell them about it. So it really takes on a true meaning.
I can't open my eyes. Yeah. Mama, can't you see? Mama, can't you see?
By the end of every day, each recruit has a greater sense of achievement, and he realizes as he conquers each challenge, he draws even nearer to graduation. During the 5th week, or service week, recruit training takes a departure from the normal routine. Each recruit is required to work in some capacity on the base.
During the 5th week of training, all the recruits go through service week, which is a 1 week of training that is set aside where all the recruits go through various areas on the base to work. It's the opportunity to disperse recruits out all over the base to keep the base basically functioning efficiently.
In the galley, recruits perform all sorts of tasks, from preparation of meals to serving on the chow line and cleaning the galley between meals.
I was the head messenger at service week at the galley, and so I was placed in charge of the galley, of all these recruits, 150 recruits total every day. And I was in charge of giving people their respective jobs and seeing that everything is getting done. And that taught me a lot of responsibility because I was given a job to supervise all these people that the work's being done, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
At the drill barn, recruits form the drill units that will be featured at graduation. They practice long hours to prepare for their performance at the ceremony.
Mama, can't you see? Mama, can't you see? What the Navy's done to me. What the Navy's done to me. Standing tall and looking good. Standing tall and looking good. Ought to be in Hollywood. Ought to be in Hollywood. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Following service week, the recruits have portraits and group pictures taken.
All right, looking good, looking sharp. Don't swim around.
Stare down the barrel of that lens, okay?
They also enjoy singing a song for a company video.
Goodbye, Camp Nimitz, our boot camp is done. Well, summer's starting on B1. We're just beginning to have our fun. Goodbye, Camp Nimitz, goodbye. See ya. Kill position, huh?
But all too soon, the training resumes.
What's a good idea to do with a loaded weapon? Put the safety on. Good.
After being instructed in the use of the .45 caliber automatic, recruits are given the opportunity to qualify with the weapon on the B range. The third and last of the MED compet phases also takes place in the week coming off of service week. With final evaluations only a week away, the recruits must get back to the regular routine of training, and strict measures are taken to motivate them.
They have a tendency to get pretty much relaxed during service week, a little bit too relaxed sometimes during service week, so that once they come off, it's a little bit hard trying to get them back into shape. But when the company commander holds intensive training, the recruits call it mashing, and you would hear the rumor going around through the galley where we're going to get mashed today, or we're going to get beat up by our company commanders, or he's going to beat us today, which is not in the literal sense that they're going to get beat or anything like that. They're actually going to be going through intensive training, and that's one of the tools that the company commander uses to achieve motivation.
On the last weekend before graduation, the companies compete in the DC Olympics. The events are centered around damage control and emergency procedures. And as with Sports Weekend, awards are given to the companies who score highest.
What we're trying to instill in a recruit with the Damage Control Weekend, we're trying to instill in them the importance of not only quickly responding to any type of shipboard damage, but to respond quickly and in a correct fashion. All of our events are timed just to try to instill that not only is it important that you respond quickly to a shipboard emergency, but you respond correctly at the same time. You can get there quick, but if you don't do it right, then you've lost all value of being on the scene.
Let him blow, let him blow. Let him blow, let him blow. Let the cold wind blow. Let the cold wind blow. From the east to the west. From the east to the west. U.S. Navy is the best. U.S. Navy is the best.
A hands-on class in shipboard drills is the last major event before final evaluations. Many aspects of onboard conduct are observed during this evolution.
From the east to the west. U.S. Navy is the best. U.S. Navy is the best.
Upon completion of each evolution or each competitive period, the company receives stars for their company guidon if they cut above the standards that is set forth by MED. And then if the company achieves all competitive evolutions for that competitive period, then they also receive the red star, which is the red J.
That means no street marks, okay, for the whole competitive period. No street marks. This is the most important star on this whole flag, is the red one.
Street marks also count against the company's military proficiency, and what a street mark is in the event that a company is caught not adhering to rules and regulations, then their demerit chits are pulled and then they receive street marks, which count against the proficiency of the company's score.
How you feeling this morning?
Fine, sir.
Feeling fine, huh?
The last stars are cut for personnel and barracks inspections, marching, and academics. When a company exceeds the overall standards, they are given the title Color Company.
It tells them that, hey, you've exceeded the checkpoints at every inspection, and every inspection that you've had, you've exceeded the checkpoints, and it creates a consistency for excellence. And when you tell a recruit that he's exceeded the norm, it makes them feel good.
Let it blow, let it blow. Let it blow, let it blow. Let the cold wind blow. Let the strong wind blow. From the east to the west. From the east to the west. U.S. Navy is the best. U.S. Navy is the best.
This morning you'll have to do 51 push-ups, 60 sit-ups, each in 2 minutes, and run 1.5 miles in 11 minutes.
The most anticipated evaluation is the final aerobics. If all recruits in a company meet the standards, the company is awarded the Iron Man flag.
I felt really good during that aerobics test, and that was like, it was a surprise to me because I didn't think that it would be like that. I really thought it would be a bummer and we wouldn't make the Ironman, but we did it, you know, and it felt good.
Few companies achieve this distinction, and when they do, it is the high point of their training.
Cutting the Ironman flag, that's probably going to stick out forever because we did that ourselves. You know, he pushed us, but he couldn't do the push-ups and set-ups for us, and he couldn't run for us, so that's probably going to be the most vivid.